Hey, peeps! I'm so tired. Okay, so we just got done with the most amazing holiday event, the influencer holiday event, as a matter of fact. I want to say it was a complete success. Some of you were here. Some of you are going to wish you were here after you see the footage. But today we're capturing kind of our after meeting of the party, the after party meeting, like kind of going over how we thought the evening was. Did it turn out like we expected? What went wrong? So this is kind of what went wrong, or went right for somebody. I'm not sure. So yeah, I think between cocaine, sex, and fire, we had a hell of an evening. What do you think?
Definitely.
I think wasn't it Carolina that found the couples having sex in the bathroom?
Yeah.
And then we found the fire in the bathroom, and then this morning we found the cocaine. So I don't know. Between those three things, I think there must have been a hell of a party here. So, Christopher.
Yes.
What was your take on the party?
My take on the party was that it was a huge success. I think we did what we set out to do and even more. We went above and beyond and achieved the things that we wanted to. People were ranting and raving about everything, how awesome it was, the performances, the atmosphere, everything like that. You know, we ran into a couple things, you know, the cocaine, the sex in the bathroom, fire in the bathroom, but you know, it's always things that happen, and then you learn for the next time how you can work around it or how to avoid it or what we can do to prevent these things from happening for next time. So I loved it. I'm ready to do it again tonight, so let's go.
Another one?
Tonight.
Didn't someone go to jail?
Oh yeah, and we had someone go to jail too. So, yeah, so you'll see on the video where we had a overly intoxicated fan get way out of control. And you know, once again, that's why we have security, because stuff like that's going to happen. Unfortunately, they didn't catch the person with the cocaine.
Okay. They missed that one.
But for the most part, yeah, we did have to send somebody off with the police because they got out of control. But that's okay. That's what happens when people drink too much, you know. Now, it's your take.
It was a badass party. Like, it was crazy. I would change a couple things. Like when we were doing the guest list, I would have moved it more away from the door because there was like a line. There was moments where people would just come in by like fours, a whole line, and it was like blocking the doorway. I would change that. Maybe get a little bit more security because that's crazy. Everything that went on is insane. But other than that, the party was amazing. Everybody was in awe with the dancers and Lexi, and you looked spectacular. Everybody was in shock with how you looked. It was awesome.
But once again, when you go back to the entry, you know, you put the entry that close to the door for a reason. So the only thing I would have done differently was have 2 policemen at the door so that nobody, I don't care how long that line was to get in, nobody gets in without getting that wristband put on their wrist and their ID checked to make sure they're supposed to be at this party. So I would never change that. You don't ever want to move that farther in because then they can still get in and go dining room or Photoshop, you know, or photo booth. So you always want to have that entry right there, and if anything, put security there so that if they want to come in or they want to get mouthy or they want to whatever, you got police officers standing there saying, sorry dude, this is the line. For security reasons, we have to make sure you are who you are. Fab, you've been to a few of the parties now.
This one was out of control. Crazy. Everyone looked fabulous. Everyone came to dress to impress, and the performances were amazing. It was lit. The drinks were delicious. I can tell you I had a few of them to try. I was just taste testing. I had a few of them to try out, and they were delicious. Catering was great. The place here, I mean, where else would you want to throw a party? And I think everyone did good. Everyone was on top of it, and I had a blast like always. And if you didn't make it, you missed out. So you want to make sure you're on that guest list next year.
So all in all, I'd say the party was very, very, very successful. Looking on social media, seeing people's remarks and pictures and everything, I mean, like, I feel it was very successful. I think we set out to do what we said we were going to do, and we did it. And I think we even brought more to the table than what people expected. Back to this trust issue. You know, trust is like my number one thing that I have to have in people that are around me and in my life. And this morning, my housekeeper, who's been with me for 5 years, was pretty much getting fired because she broke a trust issue Saturday night. So throughout the entire event, I kept noticing she was standing down by the front door, dancing, watching the shows, videotaping, pictures. Now, granted, I don't follow her on social media, so I was totally unaware of what she was doing, other than the fact of, why the hell aren't you working? You're on the clock. I'm paying you to be here. I'm not paying you to be a guest and have fun. So I was already going to talk to her this morning about, when I'm having parties, you're here working. You're not here as a guest. But then my daughter calls me from Wyoming yesterday and said, oh my God, Mom, like, your party is all over Carolina's Facebook page. I don't follow her on Facebook. I don't follow you guys on Facebook or Instagram or wherever. It's not my job to have to babysit people to make sure they're not breaking the NDAs. And clearly, she's like family. She's been with me for 5 years. So she's got strike 2 against her right now. She's been fired before. She could be fired again. But I'm just saying, trust is such a huge thing for me. It's like, Carolina, my life is not for you to put out there on your social media. It's not. No matter what I say here, no matter what I do here, you're here as a worker, not a guest, not somebody to enjoy my parties, you know? I mean, that's an added bonus. But like, so when Gucci Mane was here filming his nonchalant, I was the only person allowed to have a cell phone that night, because they could trust me that I wasn't going to put him making this music video out on social media. But I had all the footage, and later, after his nonchalant video came out, I was then able to share what backstage footage I had, you know. But trust is a huge issue. I have to know that I can trust her when I go overseas or when I go out of town, and she has to house sit for me, that she doesn't have men over here. She's not having parties over here. She's not filming what's going on in my house over here. You know what I'm saying? Trust is such a huge, huge issue, and she broke that trust Saturday night. So, just when I say trust is a huge issue for me, for anybody that's in my life, it's a huge issue. So, anyways, but yeah, I feel like I had a lot of people here working that night, but I still think we let some shit fall between the cracks, you know. If Carolina wouldn't have been watching the show so much, maybe she would have caught the fire in the bathroom faster. You know, maybe if she was checking the bathrooms more regularly, someone, you know, people are always going to sneak in places and have sex, I guess. I don't know. Where they did the cocaine, I don't know. But like I said, we have 4 police officers here working too, and you know, just when the drunk guy got out of control, I had to be the one that told the cops, get his ass out of here. You know, first we shut him down at the bars so that he couldn't drink anymore. But then he clearly needed to leave, you know. But when we were videotaping with Lexi Pantera, I was the one that finally said to the cop, "Get him out of here now." Like, you know, you just so. But those are the kind of things that you got to be aware of and keep your eyes open, so that if I'm not in that vicinity, you have the authority to, as my assistant, to say, "This person's out of control. We need to do something about him," you know. So, anyways. We're going to get ready for next year's. Because I believe next year it's going to have to be at a different venue, and it's probably going to be over 1,000 people. Mark my words right now.
I feel that the party went great. You know, it was a huge success. We had plenty of people out. We went above and beyond people's expectations. People are clamoring, talking about it. It's all over social media. We've had people come from previous events. They wanted to come back and get some more of Theresa, so we did it. The security was on their game, you know. Few little skip-ups here and there, but it's all a learning experience for next time. We're just gonna keep doing it bigger and better. I think my performance at the party was great. I think we had our systems in place of what we were gonna do, and we stuck to them, like having the people come in, check their IDs, do the checklist, give them their wristbands. So I think if you have a system in place and you stick to it, and then you're also willing to kind of adapt to like the situation, what's going on around you as well, I think that's like the recipe for success. I had received an email of the itinerary of that night, and as I was reading it to prepare for the next day, the party, I came across the line that said that the winner of the internship competition would be announced at the party. And that was the night previous. And so I found that out, and at that moment, I was feeling very jittery, excited, very confident, just like really looking forward to it. Like the party was already gonna be this great event, and then like there was gonna be like this little icing on the cake that we would finally find out after all this time, like who would be the winner. And then the next day, I was informed pretty early on when we got here that the winner wouldn't be announced since it had been figured out through the itinerary. So once I found that out, like I guess, I wasn't disappointed, but a lot of my kind of like excitement sort of jitters went away. But I still had it in the back of my mind that we're at Theresa Roemer's house. You never know what's gonna happen. So even though I was told that it wouldn't be announced, it could have still been, you know? So I was told by V, the manager, that since I had read through the email and saw that line, that it wouldn't be announced that night after all. So like last night, Theresa put out a live video on YouTube, kind of like just recapping the party, talking about how much of a success it was, how great it was, just telling everybody, you know, who wasn't there, oh, like you missed out, it's gonna be great. But also a big part of the video was her like corralling in the viewers to help decide between myself and Naitza who would be the ultimate winner of the internship competition. So I still feel good about it. I think, yeah, ultimately we're just trying to get the viewers to chime in. I know they've been chiming in a lot of the comments and things, even in person at the party. They would come up to us and tell us like, oh, you're doing so good, or like, do we know who the winner is yet, and things like that. So I'm glad about it, and I'm excited to see the results from the poll and the live video. So when the YouTube videos come out, I definitely like watch the whole video, then I take time to like scroll through the comments, kind of see what people are saying. I see a lot of good things about myself, and although that makes me feel really good and confident about myself, I don't want to let that go to my head or like overinflate my ego too much, because I could think like, oh great, like, you know, I got this in the bag. And then, you know, just because a bunch of people are saying that online, you know, that doesn't really mean anything. It's good to get their support, but like we had spoke previously towards the beginning of the competition, when one of the other competitors was getting a lot of negative feedback, Theresa had mentored us and told us that, like, you know, a lot of what people say online, you got to take it with a grain of salt, whether it's good or bad, because like that's really all it is. It's people speaking on the internet. So as the internship competition comes to an end, I've learned many things throughout. As I stated previously in my resume, I hadn't had any specific personal assistant experience before. And now I feel like I've got a good 6-7 weeks, however long we've been here, of like learning something new that I had like no experience in before. So I know how to learn someone's likes, their dislikes, their personality. I've learned Theresa always just gives us this great mentoring every day. We always leave knowing something. She always teaches us things specific to how we can do better for her, and she always gives us things specific if we're ever at another job in the future. For instance, when she brought in the mole, that was a big, big lesson that you can't get comfortable and complacent in your position. No matter how good you're doing, no matter how many people are patting you on the back saying you're doing a good job, you don't want to just sit there and be complacent. Someone can always come in and just take it right out from under you. So I couldn't say like one biggest takeaway. The whole thing has just been a big takeaway for me. So I'm super grateful for the whole experience. When I learned this morning that the housekeeper almost got fired, I was both. I was surprised and unsurprised. I was unsurprised because Theresa had mentioned before that she had been fired once before, and there have been a few hiccups lately here and there about how she can probably be doing better. But then I was also surprised because I thought, in my mind, I kind of just assumed that things were kind of going better now, and that they were kind of like back on good terms and everything was going smoothly. And so to hear again that she almost got fired again, I was like, wow, like, oh, maybe it's not going how I thought it was going. People can always be replaced, but you have to like work on yourself so hard and be able to be good at so many things to where they don't want to replace you. And if they have to replace you, it's going to be like very hard for them. So I think it's very important to be very multifaceted. Do I think I'm going to win in this competition? Absolutely. I think I've already won in my own mind. I've written it out on paper. I've meditated on it. I put it out into the universe, like Theresa says, about all the things that she wants to happen in her life. This is like the major thing that I want to happen in my life. So I spent hours while we're not here meditating on it, ruminating on it, visualizing myself at the end, her telling me that I won. So ultimately, definitely, I think I've got this. I know I've got this.
I feel like the party went great. I loved the party. It was crazy. Now knowing everything that happened, like it was a badass party. The performances were insane. Loved it. I think I did great, but I could have improved. I mean, I was dying. My feet were killer. I know that next time I'm not ever wearing heels because it is insane to be in heels for that many hours. But yeah, I was by the door. I felt like I was doing good with checking everybody in. Theresa went live on YouTube last night. I didn't like that she brought up the NDA because, you know, it's already like throwing, you know, everybody's talking crap. And then she's telling everybody to vote. Everybody loves Chris. I already know that. I don't really like that. And girl, she's talking about starting another show with interns. So I don't know what that's about, but we'll see. Chris knew. I had no idea that the winner was going to be announced that night. I heard by the grapevine later during the party, and I got anxiety. Like I was shaking. I was at the door, and then I found out, but then it turned out it didn't happen. So I was happy that it didn't happen because that would have been embarrassing in front of everybody. Like would have been very embarrassed. Yeah, didn't happen, which is good. I don't like that she had the public help pick the winner. Well, I already feel like she already picked the winner. I don't like that she had them pick it because she had already said that it wasn't based on people. But at the end of the day, it's her show, and you know those are her fans, and they like what she likes. So I think the biggest thing I learned from this experience is to believe in myself because I don't. And then when I first started, I was very quiet. I didn't even know why I got picked, which is so bad. But Theresa showed me that to believe in myself and I can achieve anything that I want, to be confident. I feel like I'm a little bit way more confident than I was when I first started. And yeah. The fact that Carolina almost got fired, it breaks my heart. I don't want her to get fired because she's awesome. I love her, and she's been here for years. She's worked with Theresa for a long time. So I don't know. I hope she doesn't get fired. I think what she did was wrong because, you know, Theresa didn't like that. But I don't feel like she should get fired. You know, talk to her, explain to her it's a mistake. She's been here for how many years? In my heart, in all honesty, I know I'm not going to win. Facts. Because I pay attention to a lot of detail, and there's a lot of things where I've noticed who is gonna get it. Like when Theresa speaks about an assistant, she looks at Chris. She speaks to Chris. Last night at the party, when V was talking about our group, I wasn't included in the group, and when every time V was talking about like, something about the party, she would talk to Chris. So I'm not, you know. And then all the people that comment, they want Chris to win. So I already know who's going to win. I'm still here, and if he gets picked, I'm so happy for him. And at the end of the day, I was getting mentored, and I was learning something, and I was here every step of the way and never gave up. I'm chilling. I'm good.
So guys, it is about to come to an end. I hope you guys have been enjoying this series because it's been extremely fun. Not only has it been fun because we've had fun, but it's been fun to be able to mentor these kids and have them learn something new every single day that they're here, every single week. You know, we just finished with this massive holiday event party where I tested them to the nth degree, like ran their asses ragged. I mean, not just them, I mean Mr. Fab, I mean Tori, I mean, you know, it takes a village actually to pull off events like this. And when it happens, it's game time for everybody. You know, I was in LA for 3 days prior to the party, and then once I landed from LA, it was balls to the walls Thursday, Friday, and then game time Saturday night. Everybody had to be on their toes, on cue. You know, I caught my housekeeper doing stuff she wasn't supposed to be doing, so she almost got fired this morning. Like I've always told people, everyone's replaceable. I'm sorry, that's just how the world works. When you're not at the top of your game every single time you come to work, there's an issue, there's a problem. And there's days that you don't want to be at the top of your game, like yesterday when I had to perform and film after only an hour and a half of sleep. Did I not want to do it? Hell yeah, I didn't want to do it, but I had to do it. You know, you just got to do it. You got to be at the top of your game all the time, regardless of how you're feeling. And so I really feel that both Naitza and Chris have done extremely well in this competition. But unfortunately, one of them has just totally outshined the other one. I know the scores have been really neck and neck, but through that neck and neck this past week, I've really seen one of them shine like a superstar. And when they were still emailing me at 10 o'clock at night, the night before the event, that spoke big. How they've gone above and beyond to make certain things happen is big. So I decided here at the very end to put another little spin on it and ask the public to help me pick the winner. So I literally went YouTube Live last night and asked everyone to help me pick the winner. You know, number 1 for Chris, number 2 for Naitza. As I YouTube Live for 45 minutes. I also put it out on my stories. And so clearly there's a landslide as far as the public's concerned. You're going to say, oh, well, we could have picked the winner from the beginning. Why did you have to keep score? You know, I think it's a total combination of everything. The viewers, have watched them compete also. And so through another set of eyes, not just my eyes, but through another set of eyes, not just one set of eyes, but through thousands and thousands of people's eyes who have watched, you've not only been entertained by this series, but you yourselves have watched their work ethic. You've watched what they've done wrong, you've watched what they've done right. And so I felt like, hey, I'm going to turn it into kind of like America's Got Talent or The Voice, and I'm going to ask the public to weigh in on who they thought should become the winner. Ultimately, it's going to be my choice, but I'm taking their scores, I'm taking the votes from online, I'm taking their attitudes, I'm taking everything to end up picking who this winner is. The night of the event, Saturday night, clearly they were both at the top of their game. The one thing that did upset me a little bit was I know they were working the door, but by the time the performers were performing, there was really no one coming through the door much anymore, and they both decided to sit in the audience and watch performances instead of walking through the house, still making sure things were not getting broke, things were being done right, whatever. So for a while there, they became part of the guests, which kind of upset me. Mr. Fab had to stay in the audience because I was asking him to film. So when I looked around and saw Mr. Fab in the audience filming, he was doing what I asked him to do. They were running the door. Granted, the guest list and that table was at the door, but by the time the performers were performing at 10:30 at night, pretty much most all the guests had arrived by then. So that was the one thing they both did wrong Saturday night at the at the holiday event. So I know they were both scared to death when they got that email. So, that kind of bummed me out that they got an email saying that the winner was going to be announced. And I was like, oh, who did that? And then I found out who did that. And then when I found out that somebody had told Chris that morning that the winner wouldn't be announced, well, there went my game plan again. So it went from, okay, game plan ruined. Oh, shoot. Okay, game plan 2 going. Oh, now that one got ruined. So, we've had monkey wrenches thrown into this constantly, and I'm just the kind of person that has to reinvent and make changes. And hey, you got to have a different game plan. When one game plan falls apart, another game plan goes into effect. So we've constantly changed this past week on how this was going to end. But today, we finally are going to announce the winner. And it's by the help of you guys also. I've brought you in and let you have a voice for this. So I think the winner may or may not know they've won. I don't know. It's hard to tell. They're not letting me know whether they know or not. So, so guys, I just hope you've enjoyed this series. I've enjoyed putting it on for you guys. We're already looking at doing another internship series, only bringing on more interns and making it even more entertaining and making me the one that gets rid of somebody every single week, almost like The Apprentice kind of thing, So, yeah, stay tuned. Let's get downstairs and announce the winner. So, we've come to the end. It actually lasted did it actually last 1 week longer than we thought? Or did it get one week shorter? Because we thought it was going to end around the 15th. Today's the 9th. So we're close. We just didn't expect 2 other competitors to drop out so early. We thought it was going to go to the 15th, but instead it stopped early. So anyways, guys, we've come to the end. You all know that I put on YouTube Live last night that I was going to ask the public to help me pick a winner.
Right.
You have to know that this decision is not based off of just what happened with YouTube Live. This decision has been based off of every single day you've been with me, your scores, your attitude, your willingness to learn something new, just how far you go above and beyond. So no matter what I've put you through, sometimes I was putting you through something and you didn't even know it.
Right.
Because I didn't let you know.
Definitely.
So I would be like, okay, so I'm going to have them do this today, but they're not even going to know I'm testing them. Like, I'm just going to see how they do.
Right.
So there's been times I've tested you and you've not even known that I was testing you.
Definitely.
And why do I do that? Ask me why do I do that, right? Why would you do that? Because when you're working for someone else, you never know when they're watching you. You never know when they're grading you on something. You never know. And so I've always been told my whole entire life, no matter what job I've ever worked out, or even now, being an entrepreneur myself, I wake up every day and I know that I have to put my best foot forward, no matter what. Yesterday morning, I had an hour and a half of sleep. Did I feel like filming all day yesterday and performing all day yesterday and doing everything I had to do yesterday? Hell no, I was tired. Hour and a half of sleep after a massive party. But anybody that saw me or it will see me on camera from yesterday will never know that I only had an hour and a half of sleep. Ever. Because I was on. So what I'm trying to teach you guys and mentor you guys here through this is that no matter what, whether you come to work and you don't feel good, or whether you got a headache, or whether you got a sore throat, fab, you came to work the other day and you were sick, when you said, you have some cough drops. You knew you had to get through the day, right? It was leading up to the party. It was everybody on board, I gave him children's cough syrup. Because that's all I had for grandkids. I'm like, just triple the dose. I don't know. That's all I got. I got grandkids cough syrup, But he knew that day that I was depending on him 100%, and he didn't feel good, but he knew that I was counting on him. And so But I also wanted the general public to get to put in their input because they've been watching us from day one. They've been also watching you, how hard you've worked, what you've done, your attitude, and sometimes more eyes is better than one set of eyes. Maybe they saw something I didn't see. So I wanted to get their input. I wanted to see if they saw something I didn't see, not based off of their decisions. Was I going to make my whole entire decision? I just wanted to see. And so yesterday about 4:30, I believe, I put out on Instagram a poll on who Instagram wanted to see. Of course, it was on my stories, so they didn't really leave a comment. But from that poll, Chris ended up with 976 yeses for Chris, and Naitza ended up with 397 votes, that gave you 71% and gave you 29%. And then last night I went live on YouTube for 45 minutes asking everyone to vote 1 versus 2. And Chris was a landslide, like unanimously, which I was watching as I was talking. But like I said, it had, their input was not them picking the winner. Unlike America's Got Talent or The Voice, it's totally the public that gets to pick the winners off of those shows. This was partly the public, but partly what Fab has seen, partly what I've seen, partly what Tori has seen. You know, there's all of us involved, not just one person. So with that said, Chris will be named the new assistant.
Thank you so much.
Naitza is a runner-up. Unfortunately, we don't need 2 assistants. We've already got Fab, and we're not doing away with Fab. But I want Naitza to walk away from this knowing that she's been mentored and not to close this door, because you never know with Theresa Roemer if in the next month or 2 or 3 that, or sooner, that we're not having another competition and you can be part of that. Or if I call upon you and say, hey, we're having events, can you come help? I'll pay you, whatever. Like, you don't want to close this door with me unless you want to,
No.
because you never know what it's going to lead to. Maybe someone that was watching the intern series will contact me and say, hey, since Naitza didn't win, do you mind if I hire her as my assistant? You know, you just never know.
Yeah.
It's a strange world, and so I don't want you to walk away from this feeling like you lost because you didn't lose. You know, unfortunately, like all competitions, there's only one winner, but you're not a loser. You're still a winner, because I still see that something great's going to come from it. Either you're still going to end up somehow becoming a part of the TR team, unbeknownst to when it could happen, I don't know, or someone might contact me and want to hire you as their assistant, you know? So I don't want you to feel bad and be walking out here crying or anything like that. So, how do you feel?
I feel amazing. I feel great.
I'm happy for him.
Let's hug it out.
Oh, like he deserves it. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Well, it's over. It's been a hell of a journey. I've kind of been in the middle of it. I've never told you guys, like, you know, what's what. I kind of just haven't picked sides. And you guys both have done extremely amazing. I mean, you're the last 2 here, and you guys should feel proud that you are here, because I'm telling you, there was hundreds and thousands of entries that I had to go through. And I picked the certain people because I knew these people had the qualifications for this job, and I knew that this person would be a good fit for the team. So it was up to see who was going to make it to the end, to see who really stood out and who really fit those qualifications. So for you guys to be the top 2 is really everything, and I want to say thank you for all the work you've done these 2 weeks. I want to thank you for all the work you've done these past weeks. You guys have been amazing. I don't think I had to get on you guys once. I never felt like you guys were slowing down. I never felt like I needed to get after you. You guys were here to work and to accomplish every goal that we needed, and I really appreciate it, and I'm glad to have you on our team.
Thank you.
It's going to be a hell of a journey. I'm glad to have you on to help, because obviously I can't do everything myself.
Right, yeah, you got
And
it.
I said it's been amazing to have you here. You're forever going to be my girl. So,
Yeah, we've all grown very close.
so how do you feel now? Now that it's over, it's done. What are your thoughts?
I feel like relieved that it's over. I'm glad that we can like move on forward now, like actually doing some, you know, we've been trained this whole time and now we can like get to work, you know, we can start pumping out content, we can start moving on, start growing and just like growing together as a family. So I'm just very excited, yeah.
I'm glad. I've been knowing for a while. I'm not stupid. I'm happy he got picked, you know, he deserves it.
What's next for you?
I'll be your assistant.
But I'm
Nah,
happy.
I don't know what's next for me yet, but I'll figure it out, you know.
I'm happy that it was us two though. I feel like us two making it to the end, like I feel like we're friends. Like we've been able to grow closer together. Like the other two girls, I wish them all the best, but I just don't think their personalities like mesh very well with anyone here.
Right.
So I'm glad that I was able to compete alongside you and like get to know you better because I think we're just cool and like we're very similar. So
Yeah.
it was good to get
It
to
was
know you.
it was a strong beginning. We had a lot of strong people at the beginning, and when you guys first started, I honestly didn't know who would make it because everyone had their different things. And when I saw that they two left early, when I saw the last two have left really early, I was like, that spoke more about them, and so better to find out then than now.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Definitely.
So
Yeah. So I'm very excited.
it's over.
Let's get it going.
I need a drink.
I need a
Let's have a rumor.
Yeah, I need something.
Where's that Coke?
I need the drinks to come here.
And just to like, yeah, I guess just to like thank everybody who watched and like supported us. It means a lot, and it helped us to just learn about ourselves, and it helped us to kind of give us some guidance, and it was like it felt good too. We had like another kind of outlet of support for us to know that like we're not alone in this. Like if we went home kind of feeling bad about, oh man, maybe I didn't do so great on that challenge, and then you can read the comments, you know, like people have positive things to say about you. People from coming from past events to new events to see you and want to take pictures with you, and like I know you have like, people were bringing you some gifts, like you have fans.
Yes, they were rooting for me.
It's
like,
very nice. So
it felt good to know that was actually people that wanted me to win. I was like, what, girl?
So yeah, I just want to thank like everybody involved, Theresa, all the contestants, Fab, Tori, G for directing, just everyone.
Yes, we need a round of applause for Tori.
For real, Tori's been in this.
Yes, Tori.
Everyone's been involved, everyone else's assistants, interns, and again, the fans and the people out there watching, just thank them, definitely.
Hell yeah. I
And
mean,
a
it's
round of
really
applause for GR camera guy.
Yes. Capturing the movies and the vibes.
All right, guys.
Good deal.
So guys, the intern has come to an end. You guys need to leave comments below on whether or not you'd like to see another series. Another intern series, whatever kind of series. You know, I love having you guys be part of my life and part of my decisions, and I always like to be able to look at your comments and weigh in on your comments, because I want to do what you guys want to see, you know. So if you enjoyed this series, go ahead and leave a comment below whether you enjoyed it, didn't enjoy it, what you'd like to see changed, whatever. We're definitely going to take a little break here during Christmas and come up with our new ideas for the first of the year. So probably by the first of the year, we will be coming up with another series of some kind. I'm not going to reveal what the name is yet. So, but anyways, we've had fun with this series. It's been a learning curve also. You know, anytime you come out and do something for the first time, you're never going to do it perfect. Usually the first time you have mistakes, and so I feel that we've had some mistakes in this series, and we've learned from it, and so we're just going to grow from here. I love you guys so much. Thank you for all of your support. We've been growing so big, so fast, and it's been so amazing, and I have no one to thank but you guys. And hopefully in 2020, you're going to see some amazing kick-ass content. I made a prediction last night on YouTube Live that I feel that with your guys' help and your input and with our creativity, we're going to put out some amazing bomb content this year. And next year at the holiday event party for influencers, we're going to hopefully be sitting at 500,000 subscribers. Yes, that's my prediction. I'm going to put it into the universe, and I'm going to work extremely hard this coming year to make that happen. So with that said, guys, tell your friends about us. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Make sure you put that notification bell on. Make sure you get out there and find me everywhere on social media. Look forward to the next giveaway, because yes, we are going to have a giveaway in January, and you're going to want to be a part of it. I swear you will. So with that said, until next time, bye-bye, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year.